So we have a new symbol for the tablet. It'll be a branch, a branch. A lot of sort of Y shapes. And down. Let's hope that the Bahro recognizes that. He likes it. Hopefully that will be enough. There we go. We got it. And it sounded so close, like it was just on the other side of those rocks. Perfect. Now that we have this, I'm going to see how it affects all of this around here. Will it show us any signs? The obvious one's going to be that flag. Wow! Everything's blowing away. There we go. Let's see if that has... Yeah, the flag, it is flapping. Just need to navigate this sandstorm. Oh, I don't want to run into that guy's toothy maw. Ah, it's like a whale. That's going to be a difficult symbol to draw. But I think that's what we need. Now I can... Oh, wait. There probably wasn't a way for me to go even higher. Yeah, I do just have one more symbol. Oh, let's try it. I have a line, a line. A line goes around like this, goes over, over, and an eye. That looks actually really good. I am impressed with myself. Then again, I'm an artist, so... He got that immediately. Awesome. The only way we'll be able to tell is if we can see it on the pedestal. Ah, there we are. This is really the final one?
The distant isle. Very few have been here. You have done well. Treasures were kept here. And still are. The tablet on the keep is perhaps the greatest treasure ever held by man or beast. And you will hold it soon. Power is in your hands, friend. Whether you like it or not. I will not have the chance to speak to you again. You will link upon touching the final slate. The tablet will be yours, as will the choice. I will be blunt. For it is my last opportunity. Duchni's last opportunity. Her mind has changed. Now, she believes she must have the tablet. She believes she is the grower. When you see her, she will beckon for it. Do not give it to her. But The book in Kavir? I have unlocked it. Bring the tablet there, to Myst Island. Yeesha will not follow. She does not want to be their master. Bring the tablet to the island. There is no other choice. I will meet you there. Please, do not fail. It is what must be done.
So you say. Was that it? I thought for sure that I would find a way into that odd chamber. I really hope it wasn't something where it's like, I should just put them in order of how many sides there are. Well, I'll save here. Unfortunately, I don't know if as soon as I do this, if there will be a way for me to come back to laki'ahn. The tablet will have already been weighted. I might still be able to link to the upper section. I'll try it. I just thought that I would find the code. Oh, I can link to Sooner in the Age. I don't have to do this. Yeah, I'm curious, because there just must be something that I missed. Why would they tease that room? The interior of this meeting area without actually providing you the key to get in. The door had a bunch of shapes. I just thought for sure that I checked everywhere I could. They wouldn't really hide the codes in plain sight, would they? I think I checked every other nook and cranny. Wait a minute. There were codes, but when I was talking about how easily I could fit in through these windows, I had visited this window, not this window. Okay. Because of the way that triangle is sitting, it looks like it's probably set upside down. So circle, square, triangle, hexagon, and diamond. That's the order? If I was just a little bit more thorough in my search at the very beginning of this age, I would have been able to get this. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there was brute forcing that. I did assume that it was, like, you had to show each one. No, I don't want to go up there. Yeah, this was the one I want. But if it's 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, that would just be an astronomical number to try. Okay, let's see what's in here. Finally, even though I've already completed the age. I wonder how that was possible. To just completely bypass this. Okay. Circle. Square. Triangle. Hexagon. And diamond. It opens. Wow. Oh, there seem to be so many more rooms. Oh, it would have been terrible if I'd missed out on this. Yep, and that was the note. I checked this window and that window, maybe even that window, but this was the only window I hadn't checked. Okay. So we have this room to the right with weaponry, more chandeliers, woven rugs. Oh, is there another? Let me... Blue, green, red, red. Wait a minute. for that puzzle in the arena, the one where I went up through that elevator and had all those passages and doors, didn't the one I choose went red, red, green, blue? That was the answer. I'd spent about 20 minutes, pretty much 2/3 of an episode, trying out different combinations, and the only way, it was pure chance that I found it. But what I had noticed about the blue button, which was on the door, it was that like branching area. The one button with the blue on it, it had a different color. It was gold rather than the sort of like dark rusted gray. Huh. I see. So these are some kind of porpoise or sea creature, the laki'ahn, and the people would spear these red gems out of them. I wonder how they even formed. I know that in real life that there are, I don't know if there's stones or something that comes out of whales. It's like a bunch of fat and oil that clumps together. I don't know if it's their equivalent of kidney stones or what, but they shed them, and people used to use it for perfumes and oils and stuff. I just want to take a look at that. Okay, well, there's the tusks, and they're raising up the stone. It must have had some kind of significance for this culture. There's more of them. Oh, is this it? This is that torch that's by the sea that we couldn't stand on. So maybe what they would do is they would light the torches. The villagers, maybe from other islands, would come on boats. Maybe this is where the Dini linked to. They would link to this place. They would summon them and have the local people compete in tests of strength to acquire these red stones. And maybe the Dini paid handsomely for them. They're pretty. But thank goodness for the laki'ahn that this hasn't continued in a long time. And now it's open. So that's all that this was. Oh. Okay, well, it's a good thing I came back. Now we can finish the game without there being anything hanging over my head. It really was just a slip of paper with the code getting in, and that paper in the other room was the key to getting to the later part of the age, but I just tried numerous options and got there. So this is it. We'll go back to the tablet and make our decision. Both Yeesha and Esher have said that we are not to give the tablet to Yeesha. She had her opportunity and it dissipated. Esher had his opportunity and it dissipated. Esher dissected the Bahro. He hurt them. He wants to keep their power for himself, to help rebuild Dini, to maintain what the Dini had. But Yeesha had a dream, and so did Atrus. And that was to grow a new Dini, to find a new home for its people, without falling back into the same patterns, the same mistakes of the past. Sort of like how Yeesha's dream was with the, do you drop the seed into Dini, or do you drop it into the sky? There's this whole thing about dropping. We have to drop the tablet to have the Bahro take and utilize the symbols that we draw on it. Maybe that's the key. Toldemer, Nolaben, Tagira. They're all unlocked. And take the tablet. What is she doing here? Oh, she's raising her hands as though to take the tablet. We can't give her the tablet. And while we could go back to the Myst book and bring it to Myst Island, that's going to deprive Yeesha and her people, well, the remaining people. Oh, my heart's pounding. Atrus's legacy of everything. And I still don't trust Esher. He championed brute strength and the superiority of the Dini over others. I'm going to see if the Bahro take this. Can they take it themselves? Whoa!
I am set free. Their slavery of 10,000 years is over. And the burden of my family is lifted from my weary heart. Praise the Maker. He brought you for this impossible task. You have done well, and many will rejoice.
Oh.
You have chosen the least as greatest. You have freed us all, yourself of pride, me of the burden, and the good Bahro of their enslavement. You are worthy of the new Dani. Oh, my father.
My desert bird.
It's over. I didn't know if... I faltered. I was not always strong. I am so sorry.
No.
But what was asked of me, I have done. And now the tree grows again.
No.
Just to be your daughter again. Hold me.
My precious one. I'm so sorry. For this burden, this crushing weight. I cannot bear to think of it. But you carried it. I wish your mother could be. You have truly become the grower. You bring Dani back to life. Another circle closes. Another new tree grows again. Thank you, my old friend. Welcome to Rilishan, this new Dani. It's been a long, long journey. Difficult journey. And I am old and weak. But I've lived long enough to see this day, to see my desert bird, my precious Yeesha return as the grower, filled with the wisdom of the Maker. Truly our long burden has been lifted. Now, my days can end here in peace.
This is not acceptable. Where are you taking me? Release me, I order you.
Oh.
I demand it. Let me
Yes,
go, you evil
there is this
demon.
to deal with.
You cannot hold me. I am Esher. I am the grower. Where is this? You idiot. Moronic lump of filth. You are nothing. Path. Ah! needed the power! I needed it! The knee needed me! You threw it away to this witch and her legion of scum, the demon slaves! You've released the slaves as masters! You've turned the small to great! Curse the maker!
Silence! You are no longer subject to the great. You have become great yourselves. Do with him as you should to the least, for I am no longer worthy to give counsel to you.
No, no! No!
Whoa.
I am not given easily to those not close to me. But you have chosen well, my friend, and have allayed my fears. Many have been freed. Least will be greatest again, as it was before we began. The old is gone, and the new begun to grow. This is the new Denis, restored and free. Over none, under only the Maker. This restoration of Denis is not a restoration of the outside, of structures and stone, but of the inside, of hearts and truth. For kingdoms are only as strong as the hearts of their people. Your heart is right. Welcome to this kingdom. Welcome to this new Denis.
Oh, they have wings. Whoa, we're being carried? Oh, that's from her drawings. Well, that's the final Myst game. That is Myst V End of Ages. It was interesting having... It was mostly Esher, though. Yeesha gave you her plea at the very initial start of the game and then left you from there, and you only really heard of her perspective from her journals. Esher the whole time was trying to convince you of the grandeur of Denis and how the Bahro and power over the Bahro was integral to maintaining it. In the end, it seemed like there was really only that one choice. Now, I remember when I played this long ago, I actually thought that putting the tablet on the ground wasn't an option. I didn't cursor over it to see if that was. So I remember giving it to Yeesha would just make it disappear, and she'd be very saddened, and once again they would have to wait for another person to come along and try to free the tablet again. With Esher, if you took the tablet to Myst Island, Esher would meet you in the main chamber on Myst, and he would just scrawl snake symbols all over it, carve it right into the tablet so that the Bahro would never, ever be freed. And you were actually trapped on Myst Island. I think he had a way to link himself out because of his leather linking symbol. And he'd be like, "Ha, you're here to rot forever." And, he claimed the power for himself. This is the good ending, probably the canonical ending to Myst, where you give the Bahro the tablet so that they are free from control. They never really explain why or how the tablet was ever created in the first place, and how they ever came into being in servitude to the Dini. But from here on out, yeah, I suppose Yeesha is still the grower in a sense, because she helped seed the thought of humility, the thought of freeing the Bahro in the stranger and us, the old friend of Atrus. It's nice to see that Atrus hadn't passed on and lost hope, and that he and his family will finally be at peace after all this time, facing so many evils, from his own sons to his father to someone seeking revenge because of the actions of his sons. Well, one of his sons in the fourth one. Another one was redeemed. The family of Atrus has experienced so much loss, all over this desire for power. His father desired to recreate Dini and be a master of ages, a master of worlds. His sons did too, because then they could exploit the native inhabitants of these ages and be as like kings. Saavedro, he was a different kind of villain. It was just all a misunderstanding, and he thought that Atrus had forgotten about him and left his people to destruction by allowing his sons to go willy-nilly about the world without any supervision. Saavedro didn't realize what had happened in the events of Myst I. So I was glad that we were able to free him. And hopefully Narayan is all in well in all this. It makes me wonder that now, with all of the people of Dini being moved to, I believe it's supposed to be Relishan, his new age, the one that he had written in Myst III that had been stolen temporarily by Saavedro, that must be their new home. Now, because the DRC and other people had began to interact with Dini and try to at least vivify the structures enough, it does make me wonder, within the Myst universe, if there will be more interconnectivity between the different ages, if Dini would ever be brought to light to the mainstream public of Earth, or if it would forever be a buried secret. It seemed like there were tremors that Dini itself was possibly going to cave in and be lost forever. But perhaps that's for the best. In the case of Yeesha and Atrus and them starting a new life on Relishan. It does beg the question, what would you guys do if you had the power to make your worlds come to life? But I suppose that isn't really much of a question, because you see it happen every day. People who write novels, draw comic books, create video games, movies, television series. They create vivid worlds for us to experience. What I love about video games, especially like Myst, is that you actually get to interact with them in a way that other visual media does not. And that's the beauty of Myst. It was the Myst series was my first experience really with PC gaming, and just getting immersed in these environments, exploring these wondrous worlds. And I'm glad that even after all these years, they've really held up well, that people still look back upon them fondly. I did play Abduction with my fiance, and it was a very different kind of story. It still involved teleportation as a mechanic, though it used it as the main mechanic, like the primary mechanic for solving puzzles, which ended up resulting in a lot of load times. It was a very different story. It was about people trapped elsewhere, and we're trying to find ways to survive, persist, especially when met with other aliens. I think it was like an intermixing of 3 different worlds, maybe 4. Maybe it was 4 again. At the same time, I still think with Cyan's creations, Myst is by far my favorite. As for the future of Myst, I don't know if they're going to be continuing any more games in the series. There were a couple novels, and there was a 4th one planned, but I believe it was never finished. And there have been rumors of television series and graphic novels and other things. I think there were some officially created comics, maybe based off of the Book of Atrus. I would absolutely love to see more of Myst in the future, but as it stands, this series of games, these 6 games, are wonderful. Of the games, I would have to say that my favorites are probably Riven, Exile, and Revelation. I really enjoyed the footage, the live action footage that they had in those games, and the beautiful pre-rendered environments. This game and Uru, compared to the other ones, I think it was Cyan was going in a new direction with the 3D modeled characters and the environments that you could actually traipse through as normal in engine. It doesn't really shine in comparison to the older games. And I would definitely love to see more puzzle games like Myst, but there's just something about Myst that will always stand out to me as the quintessential beginning of the puzzle genre. It really did set a standard for the industry. In any case, this is my series of Myst. It was a blast from the past going through all these games. I believe I had first begun my adventures in Myst when I was about 5 or 6 years old, sitting alongside my father as he played through the games. By the time I was a tween or an early teen, I was playing the latter games completely on my own. And then going back through these now, about 10 years later, it's surprising how much I could remember and how much just completely flew by the wayside. Pretty much all the puzzles I had to think through again. And I find that it was a lot faster now than it was back then, but that's perhaps because I recognize the cues and other things. There were a couple of things that tripped me up here and there, but overall, I was really happy with the complexity, the variety of puzzles as well, from interacting with animals and materials, figuring out weight systems, using clues from several diagrams and sounds, and it really did pull from a lot of different mechanics and just inventive ways to navigate these worlds. And another thing I love about this is you don't have to fight anything. I didn't have to worry about dying every other turn. It's nice just to be able to explore freely, really immerse yourself in these environments. In any case, I think I've probably given the spiel at the end of every single Myst game. Absolutely love Myst. Myst is the first PC series that I remember fondly from my youth, and it is still to this day my favorite video game series of all time. Would love to see what comes next for it if Cyan ever does pick it up again. Otherwise, I'll keep on the lookout for more games similar to this and exploring new horizons. In any case, thank you guys for accompanying me on my Myst series. Finally played through all 6 of the games. Well, I suppose I'll see you next time on whichever series I begin next. The ending has not yet been written.